Hi, everybody. I am Patty Dorito, and I'm the owner and founder of Holistic Healing Atlanta here in Atlanta, Georgia, well, Peachtree Corners. I started my practice so we could incorporate the body, the mind, and the soul into holistic healing, heal the whole body without all of those aspects. I think we're just putting a Band-Aid on. So I love what I do, and tonight I have a very special guest, and I met Ty Hammersham about 2 years ago, and I just sort of accidentally walked into one of his fitness classes at LA Fitness, and I was in for a rude awakening because he just grins at us and he kicks our butt, and we work really hard, and it's a lot of fun. And so as I got to know him, I found out that he had a journey from where he was to where he is now, a fitness. So I want to introduce this very special guest. And what I didn't know is how talented he was, besides for being a fitness instructor. But so Ty is a Atlanta-based gospel recording artist, actor, fitness instructor, and social media personality. He was born and raised here in Georgia, Midgeville. Ty got his start in church. It was there he found his love for God, as well as his passion for music, acting, and comedy. He continues to minister as the drama director at Fresh Start Church in Duluth, Georgia. In 2019, Ty participated in his first multi-city comedy tour. In addition to sharing the stage with popular social media comedians, Prince Ty has also collaborated with many celebrities and brands, and even gained the attention of celebrities like Drake and Tyrese and Missy Elliott. In his spare time, Ty has also served as a fitness instructor. He is a certified HIIT format, Zumba, mixed fit. Since making his own personal lifestyle change, he is motivated to push others to meet their goals as well. So let me introduce my good friend, Ty.
Hey there.
Hey, Ty, thanks for coming. We're so
You're
excited to have
welcome.
you here. So, Ty, what's your story?
Well, one, I think it's a great place to say thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure. Thank you for always giving me your best in class. I always appreciate that as an instructor. Also, I have a few pictures. I want to kind of start off and show you a little bit of my journey, and then we'll go into a little bit of the speaking there. So this first picture is a picture of me and my mom. I was at my cousin's college graduation from Savannah State, and this was about 5 years ago at the start of my journey. Um, we can go through all the pictures and I'll kind of give the big spiel later. And here is one of my music videos. This is a song called Me. It's a song about self-positivity, and it's a song basically saying that you don't need someone to complete yourself. You just need you. You need a great mindset. And I think this is one of the first performances that I did while losing weight. So that's why that's significant to me. And the very last picture is within my first year of weight loss. This was the biggest transformation, probably going from about 320 here to this was about 240-ish right there. But in total, I did lose 100 pounds. And most people now, that I've kind of been going through the process for 5 years, most people, when they meet me, have no clue that I used to be really heavy. So it's always, fun and interesting to kind of see that jaw drop from the first, I show a before picture and people are like, what? And, but it's also humbling. So it lets me know that, my hard work has paid off. But to answer your question, what got me started on my weight loss journey, in 2014, I had a tonsillectomy. Like I used to get tonsillitis and strep throat about every 6 to 7 weeks. And during the surgery, my blood pressure was so high to the point that the cuts would not stay closed. So I ended up having to have 4 surgeries instead of 1 outpatient tonsillectomy. Long story short, it kept opening the cuts because my blood pressure was so high. So after the 3rd surgery, the surgeon sent me straight to urgent care to get put on blood pressure medication directly after the surgery. So it was at that point I was on the medication. This takes me through the end of 2014 into 2015. And at this point, I'm just packing on the weight, blaming the medication for my weight gain. So at that point, I went to another doctor and I was like, yo, doc, I'm, doing everything right, which I wasn't. And it's like, I'm gaining weight. This medicine is making me gain weight. So he's like, and I kid you not, he said this. He's like, it's not the medicine that's making you gain weight. It's the fruit punch and the potato chips. I was like, whoa, who are you talking to like that? So the funny part was he really kind of he opened my eyes. He really let me know that, hey, the decisions you're making right now are not healthy decisions. And he went on further to say, right now you're 320 pounds. You're going to come back 2 months later, you're going to be 350. You're going to be 400 pounds, 450. And then he's like, I'm going to have to bury another patient. I'm like, wow. So I kind of made a promise that that day was April 28th, 2015. I remember the day that happened. And I sat in my car and I promised myself, I made a vow to myself that I'm never going to come to a doctor again and be that embarrassed. So I said I wanted to come back the next time I saw him and be a completely different person. And from that day, I really made the decision to change my life for the better because one, I didn't like the way that my doctor spoke to me. And I understood that he was kind of really trying to get me to make that lifestyle change, but I didn't like the way he spoke to me and I didn't like the way I felt after that. So I made the decision to change my life because I wanted to live a better life, a better quality of life. And two, I just wanted to prove my doctor wrong. So my next steps from there, right? My next steps from there, I hired a sports nutritionist, someone whose job it was to prepare athletes for big games, for photo shoots, for competitions, things like that. So he prepared a 63-page notebook, huge notebook, filled with the science of what you eat, why you eat it, when to eat it, and how often to eat, things like that. So it really explained to me the purpose of food and how that food interacts with your body, and furthermore, driving the point that nutrition is the bulk of a healthy lifestyle change.
So what kind of food did you grow up on?
I am from Midville, like you said, Midville. I love Midville, first of all. Shout out Midville, Georgia. Um, I grew up eating, it wasn't that we ate bad food or just like a bunch of soul food, but it just wasn't the healthiest. Like for me, I know growing up, I was one who always went to the store. I'd get like the 2 big bags of blue Cool Ranch Doritos and an orange soda and a bag of sunflower seeds and a Snicker bar, and I'm good until dinner time. And it's just that continual routine of bad habits that continued to kind of spiral me out of control.
Were you heavy as a teenager?
Yes, I was pretty much heavy. What I weigh right now, which is 220, I probably weighed in about 8th grade. So I spent most of my childhood into my teenage years overweight or heavy.
Wow. Wow. Do you consider yourself an emotional eater?
No, it wasn't more so an emotional eater. It's just like I would sit and just, if it was good to me and I really enjoyed it, I would just finish it. I didn't see the purpose in I didn't see the purpose in saving something if I could just enjoy it right now. So I wouldn't say emotions had a lot to do with it.
Were you a sedentary kid, or did you play sports or run around on a
Um,
bicycle, or?
I wasn't as active growing up. I would say I did marching band near the end of high school, kind of transitioning into college, but that's about as active as I was growing up in high school, in middle school, and things like that.
Okay. So when you were eating, when that nutritionist said, "Here's your diet," how did you feel? You got robbed of a lot of foods you enjoyed.
Yes. It was overwhelming. It at the beginning felt like I was making this huge sacrifice. Like I couldn't have anything that I liked. But when I really kind of look back at it in retrospect, it's like I eat everything I like, but the things that I really enjoy aren't the best things for me. So it's not more so I can't have them. But there's a time and a place for them, right? So if you want a bag of chips, like I have cheat meals all the time. I won't say I eat what I want to eat. That's the wrong message for this type of interview. But
No,
I
I'm
do.
going to disagree with you, because I think if we restrict ourselves and be like, I mean, there are some foods that certain people have to restrict 100% of the time.
Right.
But I think, if we never enjoy life and we can't go out with our friends and enjoy something, then people won't stick with it. So I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, if anybody wants to ask Ty any questions, you can put them in the comments for us to read and we'll answer them. Okay, so you started your journey. Okay, and when did you start seeing any difference?
Ah, this is also a good point. So I would say I personally did not notice any difference until I bought my first new set of clothes. And I was the person that was obsessed with the number on the scale. So I would get up every day and write it on my mirror. I'd have post-it notes at work for every 10-pound milestones I'd hit. But like I would lose the weight, lose, but I feel like I didn't see it until I had about 40 pounds. Mind you, people were telling me all the time, "Oh my God, your face is so slim." Apparently, the face is what slims down first. But I think over time, the buying of smaller clothes and noticing clothes fit looser, things like that, that kind of helped me see that my work wasn't in vain. It was, paying off.
Cool. Do you still see yourself as an overweight person? Because sometimes when I work with people, um, they see themselves as still heavy. And do you see yourself as a heavy person, overweight person?
I do. That's one of like my fatal flaws, if you call them. I don't broadcast it, but I think I do have like a mild case of body dysmorphia where I acknowledge all the hard work that I've done. I can see it when I look at myself, visually, but sometimes I feel as if, I still feel like my old heavy self. One, because I still have, extra skin in some places, and that's kind of a reminder. And two, I just have this vision of like this chiseled six pack action figure like body. And every day I don't see it, that kind of makes me feel, like I haven't quite done enough. But, inside, I know for a fact that I put in the work and I've done what it takes. My lifestyle, and every time I go get checkups, the numbers speak for themselves, and it's just more of a mind thing. So, it's one of the things that kind of gets you. I don't know. It just depends. I think I was really heavy before, and just kind of now I still feel like I see that even after it's been 5 years. What's up, Kenny? That's my bro. Went to high school together.
What what were your blood pressure was way up. Did
Mhm.
you have other numbers that were like your blood sugar, your A1C, cholesterol, were those high or you don't know?
Those typically weren't higher. High blood pressure does run in my family, so I think part of it is genetics and part was a unhealthy lifestyle. But aside from that, I haven't had any other major issues.
And your blood pressure's in normal range?
I'm still on medication, but yes, it is in a very normal range. Much lower. I honestly think I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I'm not gonna suggest that, but I feel like it could be very normal without medication.
Okay. So did you have any relapse where you put on a bunch of weight back? I mean, because one of the biggest things when people have weight loss, they don't sustain it. They
Mhm.
yo-yo back and forth. Like, did you have any slip ups? How do you stay at the number that you want to weigh now?
What I have found is that it's a true lifestyle change, meaning you can't think of it as you can't necessarily give it an end date. So if you say, "Oh, I'm going to diet for 6 months," and then you lose 50 pounds in 6 months, but you also, after those 6 months, give up and go back to old habits. And that's kind of the most weight that I gained after losing weight was about 40 pounds. And that was just me being like, I'm gonna work this off later. I want Uber Eats. I feel like I deserve Uber Eats. And then weeks turned into months, and before you know it, we're 40 pounds heavier. So sometimes what helps me, I keep pictures of my old self in my bathroom. I keep them in my car. At work, there's when I was at work, I had a picture at my desk of just heavy Ty. So that would kind of always remind me, say, hey, if you don't want to be this person again, or if you're not careful, then you're going to easily slip back up here. I do it with pictures, and I also have I call them my heavy pants. No, my struggle pants. So my struggle pants are like borderline too tight. So I know when I can't button those pants, I've gained weight, and I know when they button perfectly, I'm where I need to be. So that's kind of how I gauge it. But sometimes it's, it's tough. Life happens, we gain weight, but you always have to kind of come back and recenter yourself and think about what got you there in the first place and how can I get focused again to reach that next goal that you set for yourself.
Okay, let's take a little pause here and read some of the comments. Let's see. So Josephine Davis says, so proud of you.
Yes, Miss Josephine, she's from Midville.
Gabe Ben says, go Ty. You got a whole fan base here. It is really impressive what you have done. I mean,
Gabrielle.
You've lost it and you kept on going.
Your mommy.
Your mom and dad are watching. That's so sweet. Let's see. El Marie Hampshire says, Midville, yay. Yeah. Any other ones you want to read out loud? Did I skip any, Ty?
Say it loud, honey. I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, keep on the comments. It's good. Okay.
Ever have any setbacks? I mean, life happens. I honestly, stress sometimes is a setback. And for me, I think the only time a setback truly comes is if I'm kind of in a slump or something like that, and I just don't work out and I eat what I want to eat. And those usually don't last long. I'm the kind of person that's like really ambitious. And when I'm focused on a goal, I always say I'm dangerous when I'm focused, but when I'm focused on a goal, I'm just like dead set on doing whatever it takes to reach it. So if I know I've gained 40 pounds, which I'm kind of coming off of the tail end of that, this was recent because of quarantine and me kind of being sick, in the midst with the stomach thing. So I'm practicing what I preach right now. So everyone that's kind of been coming to class, they've seen me kind of up the stakes a little bit. I've made it just a little bit more intense. And I've also just really paid attention to my food and things like that. So that when you have a setback, then you don't just completely crash and burn. You have a foundation that you've built to kind of pick up where you left off as opposed to stopping.
So where did the exercise come in? You weren't really a real athletic kid growing up, it sounds like.
Right.
So when did you start exercising and then how'd you get into being a fitness instructor? And by the way, it's a fun class.
Thank you.
For busting our butts off and sore for a week.
Right. That's my personal goal. Make everyone sore and sweat profusely. But I would say what got me started with exercise, with fitness, with nutrition, I was able to lose the weight. Like the weight started coming off, but I did not like the way that my body started to look after that. So I'm like, okay, I need to supplement or complement my nutrition with some kind of exercise so that as I lose weight or continue to lose weight, it's not just a lot of extra skin just hanging down, that I can tone it as I continue to lose. So in doing that, you're starting off, and this is, I think a lot of people kind of have that in gym intimidation where they think that everyone's going to be looking at them. I did that. I was like, oh man, I'm not getting on that. Everybody's going to be looking at me. But truthfully, like no one really cares. Like people come to get their own workout. So it's like, you have to kind of come in there with your personal goal at the forefront of your mind. It's like if you're worrying about what everyone else is going to think, what everyone else is going to say, then you're coming into the gym not focused on yourself, So I think, and what helped me with that was taking group classes. My philosophy was, okay, we have an hour. If I go consistently, these people become my friends. They become a support system, and I don't feel intimidated. There are always going to be people in classes that are very high performers. There are going to be people who are not as high performers, but it's just the atmosphere where I just felt motivated in the class setting. So being the student, and seeing how that helped me, I also noticed what types of instructors I preferred, that I like to go to, instructors that excited me, that made me want to come to their class. And I wanted to model myself after that. And I wanted, like I said earlier, this is kind of my way of giving back. I'm very social. I love to meet people. I love to dance. I love to have fun. I'm very silly. And I'm like, why not just sprinkle a little bit of fitness on top of that and make it one big party? So that's what I did. I decided to get certified and just kind of use what I know so far. And help motivate others.
So how do you stay? So LaDonna says she's proud of you, Ty, and she says she can't seem to stay consistent when she starts a program. What advice would you give to her? And I think that's a common, whether it's with our diet or with our exercise. I hear that people say, I want to do it, or I do it for a day or a week, and then I stop. What advice would you give to these people?
Okay. Hey, LaDonna. I know LaDonna personally. LaDonna actually, she's very significant. So one, LaDonna introduced me to the nutritionist whose program transformed my life. There we go. So first of all, LaDonna's the real MVP in this scenario. So thank you, LaDonna. Also, I think that the consistency part comes when it's not convenient, right? So if it's for me, if it's not convenient or something that I can easily do and just kind of get in a routine of, it's something I'm going to just kind of push off and, postpone. But I also think about it, if you think about nutrition and fitness and wellness as a whole and compare it to other things that we do, let's say looking for a job. So when we're looking for a job, we're going to make sure we have education. We're going to put forth the best resume, and we're also going to put forth our best effort in doing everything we can in interviews to sound great. So we put all that effort into one interview to get a job. And I think that what we fail to do is put that same energy and effort towards ourselves. So it's not, that I have to go on this really strict diet, go from 100 straight to 0 where I'm not eating anything. It's what changes can I make? What subtle changes can I make over a gradual period of time? Because some people can't do, just cold turkey. That doesn't work for everyone. So the approach for LaDonna may be, hey, maybe I'm not consistent with the diet. I know she's consistent with the working out because she's always popping up on the watch. So perhaps it's the consistency with the types of food. Maybe it's thinking that you can't enjoy what you like because you think you can only have chicken breast. But there are many different styles of chicken breast you can have. You can cook it different ways and things like that. But needless to say, I have LaDonna's number and we'll be reaching out for accountability.
Well, and I think that's a really important thing that you're mentioning, Ty, is that there's different people in our lives that touch us and then it connects us, and having accountability and friends to do it with you. Because some people need that community or accountability. I think that's a really good point that you made. So how did your spiritual life fit into your journey of fitness?
Faith was a huge part. Faith, and just setting a goal and having faith. For me, it really defined what faith was. It defined what faith and perseverance was. I used to always pray that God would make the working out and the nutrition part just daily life. I just, pray that just make it be something that I can just do. And it's just a daily activity, like brushing my teeth. Like, I want it to be so to the point where I have it locked down that I'm not obsessed over it, but I make sure that it's included as a part of my life. So as far as faith goes, faith is the substance of things, the evidence of things not seen, right? So the faith part for me is you have a goal. You can't see the outcome yet, but you have to really pay attention and really focus and believe that you can reach that end result. And that's kind of the same thing on the Christian journey. I'm a Christian. On the Christian journey, if you have the faith, the Bible says that you can move a mountain. And the size of mustard seed is super small. So if something that small and minute can move something grand like a mountain, just imagine if you believe in yourself with that same 1%. I've heard people say that if you trust me with 1%, you can earn the 99. So I just say that my best advice is give yourself that one mustard seed, give yourself that 1% that you're just going to put in and trust and have faith that you're going to reach the end of it. And on that faith part, that doesn't mean stop working. That means you have the faith, you believe in yourself, but you are in active pursuit to reach that goal. But you can't just say, I have faith, and don't still eat potato chips and expect to lose weight. That's not quite how that works. but maintaining a healthy relationship, I think, with Christ is just going to make your life better anyway. And even if you're not a believer, that faith principle still works as you apply it to different aspects of your life.
That's cool. Moving to a different question to you. So you are an instructor with men and women. Do you see that men and women should be doing slightly different exercises, or some that women should, because we're built differently, men and women? Are there certain things that women shouldn't do because they're going to get hurt, or
Mm-hmm.
Men are typically stronger? Just they're physically bigger and stronger.
I'll be careful because I don't want to have anyone out there thinking that I think women are weak or women can't perform as equally as men. But I will say that based off of feedback in classes, I've noticed that many more women, they don't like heavier weights because they don't necessarily want to build muscle and be top heavy, like bodybuilder top heavy, but they much rather prefer just to be toned. And I honestly think that, well, I know that everyone's journey to fitness, everyone's not going to have the same journey. Everyone's not going to have the same reaction to the same regimen. I know and I understand that. And I think people should also understand that as well. It's going to be a little rough, understanding that men and women do have different metabolism levels. It's, many different factors play in what works for men and women, genetics, family genetics, just being different sexes in general. But I think that the formula, eating healthy, eating clean, and exercising, the formula works, but it just is going to depend on each individual person, how hard you go in. Are you working at 30 minutes? Are you working an hour? How intense are your workouts? Are you really eating enough, to what your body can support? Or are you doing what you think is the best thing? So there are a lot of factors that play into it, but I do believe that the formula works for everybody.
Cool. Well, I know in class, there's a little bit of peer pressure that I feel because I'm competitive and I have to work harder than the person next to me. That's why I'm really sore on Sunday mornings. So
I feel like that. Well, you know what? I have forgot my charger upstairs and my laptop's on 5%. So can I have 22 seconds to go grab that?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. And hopefully I have some more comments when I get back.
Okay. So while he's up there, I hope you're enjoying what you're watching and the show, because I just am very amazed with Ty, his journey. Not only that he lost his weight, but he's maintained it off. And then he's human. He's gained it back, but he says, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get back on the train, and I'm going to work hard. Because I think that's one really important thing, is to keep track of our weight so that when we're losing weight or gaining, we go away for a week on a vacation, when we come back, that right away we start addressing what we're eating and get back on that. Because I think it, particularly things like sugar can be very addictive. And so we get that taste in our mouth. I know I do. And then I have to be very careful of withdrawing from the sugar and, So let's see if we have any comments here. These are questions for Ty, actually, but they're good questions. Kenny asks, what key elements do you feel make your journey more successful? That's a great question. For me, I've always been pretty active. I played varsity college softball and volleyball, and so I was really active. And then after that, I started riding a bicycle and I started running. I did a marathon, I did a triathlon, I did road races, and then I had kids. And so, but I've always been active, so that's been easy for me. Not everybody has that. So for me, some key elements is to watch what I'm eating, but then I also have to also stay physically active. And I think so that two-part thing. And how to do the sugar stuff? Well, sugar is very addictive. And if you look at the ingredients of sugar, they're under a lot of different names. So you have to be careful because there's sugar like in processed food everywhere. So we don't even know what it is. So for me, when I decide I have to I don't eat much sugar. I might eat something that's sweet with like dates or something in it. But for me, I just have to go cold turkey. I know I don't feel good when I eat sugar. So anyway, hey, Ty, now you're back. Are you back with us, Ty? Not quite yet. Ty, are you there? We can see Ty, we just can't hear him. He said his audio's out. Did you ever know Ty could be so quiet?
Hey guys, so we're having some technical difficulties and Ty is trying to connect his audio. So Ty, if you look at the bottom part of your screen, you should see a microphone and the camera, and then you can click on mute and it should give you some sound. Okay, he's gonna try to connect again. But this is what happens when you're live. And but it's so great too because you get all the interactions from the audience. And we have a question, Patty, that says, for sure to trust the process and put effort into it. In your practice, have you seen that people get desperate and kind of want to rush the process, or they just want a quick fix, from the mental health perspective? How would you kind of explain this?
So I think there's definitely an emotional component that goes with this. I once did a food sensitivity test to a man, and he was very upset because he had to cut out gluten and he had to cut out dairy from his diet for 3 months. But he pouted about this a whole lot. So one of the things that I would say with him, I asked him, I said, well, what is food meant to you, these sugar and these dairy things? He said, well, my mother worked at night as a nurse, and so she was only home she slept during the day. So she worked at night, home during the day. And the only time we had family time is like after church, we got donuts, or we went to the ball game and we got ice cream. And so ice cream and donuts and sugar and carbs and stuff meant I feel loved. So we had to address that before we could address why he was pouting about he couldn't eat those certain foods. So I think a lot of people who are overweight wish there was a magic wand that they could just say, I am done. I've lost the weight and I promise I'll keep it off after that. But I don't think it works so easy like that. And it's just like putting one foot in front of the other. I love what Ty did. He weighed himself for every day. There's different philosophies about that. Anyway, whether you do it once a week, once a month, or whatever. But Ty, are you back?
I am back. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries. So here's a question for you. Do you see it, Ty?
Yes. What key elements do you feel like makes your journey more successful? The mindset. I would say that right now, I turned 30 this year in December. So right now for me, I'm kind of in maintenance mode, but at the same time, just kind of putting all the bells and whistles on all my workouts to just make sure that I look great for 31. And two, that I don't want to enter another decade. I want to enter my next decade of life in the best shape possible. So the thing for me that makes it more successful is I'm just able to really lock into staying motivated. I'm really able to lock into the reality that anything worth having is going to take time for. And I think that fitness, there are many ways that you can try to rush fitness and rush weight loss and rush wellness, but I think doing it the holistic way only positions you for a longer, better quality of life in the long run. So that element for me is the mindset, that mental mindset to say, hey, I don't feel like it, but I know this is worthwhile and it is going to absolutely be worth it at the end.
Yeah. There's one other element that I think is really important and I was going to ask you, how do you de-stress? Because I think if we're busy, go, even in the fitness world and you're working, and we're driving in Atlanta, well, not so much with the pandemic, but busy. What do you do to de-stress? Because that puts our body into a place where we can rest, digest, heal, relax. So what do you do? Because I found out all sorts of stuff that you do. I'm impressed.
So yeah, pretty much my whole comedic, fine art, silly, goofy side is what I use as coping mechanisms. Working out is also a coping mechanism outside of classes. I do work out on my own. So I think that also kind of helps kind of jolt my progress as well, just putting that extra time, making sure I have my own workout. But also for me, it's music. I love to write. I love to create. I often compare my mind to just like this active burst of like fireworks all the time. Something's going on up there all the time. So I think having a lot of that sometimes is overwhelming because there's a lot going on, and sometimes music doesn't do it for me the way that recording a video or writing a script does it. Or some days I just have to go in and get on the elliptical and get out all my stress. So I think that coping mechanisms are important. I've also used meditation, sleep meditation, to really kind of drift off with positive affirmations, just hearing things that'll lift you up, even subconsciously, that you'll kind of absorb those things to kind of move forward. And I think that's just an approach to maintaining stress in general, whether you're really kind of looking for targeted towards wellness or not. Courtney, I miss you. I met Courtney at UFit.
Yeah, and what Kenny says, you're a very positive guy. That comes through in your classes. It's just a joy to be in your classes. I also, so when I was looking up to get a headshot of you, I found all your singing stuff. Mm-hmm. You have an amazing, amazing voice. And do you have a link or something that people can go see how talented you are? You could be a Disney voiceover and sing.
I love that.
For one of those animated things.
Yes. So on my Instagram, Tabernacle, or you can just search Prince Ty. Those are my official comedian / artist names. Prince Ty. My Instagram is Tabernacle, church-based, of course. My Facebook, I have a group. So if you want to follow along with workouts, I do live workouts every Sunday. I cycle between kind of like a boot camp HIIT workout, high intensity interval training, and I cycle and switch between a dance format. So this Sunday at 1 p.m. will be the dance format. And then we basically switch back and forth virtually so that people who aren't comfortable going to the gym yet, or for those who just want to have workouts on demand, I do those just out of the kindness of my heart, because I know people want to exercise.
Yeah, I was wondering, why would you do these free things? But, the joy that you bring, especially when you're dancing.
Right. Dancing / exercise.
Yeah,
I make everything a dance.
I want to take dance lessons from you. Let's see.
I love it. What you put in your mouth is the most important decision for your health. This is so great to hear your story, and makes the best fitness instructor around town even more relatable, motivating, and inspiring than ever. Thanks for being you and such a positive influence to many. Thank you. I appreciate that. I often say that I think just me as a person, I think what I think my purpose is to motivate. I think my purpose is to inspire. And knowing that and kind of just having that at the back of my head, it helps me no matter what I'm doing and no matter who I'm encountering. I just want to try to brighten their day, give them something that they wouldn't have gotten at home or whatever. Because people, you don't know what a person's carrying. You don't know what a person has been through. You don't know what a person hides behind their smile. You don't know their personal battles. So for me, it is my job to, one, give you a good workout, two, challenge you, but to three, to make you feel like I'm personally giving you a workout. Like that's my goal in class. I want everyone to feel like I personally made eye contact with you, and I want you to feel like you were a part of the workout. And I think all those things are very important. Anthony Sachs has got your back. He used to say that all the time in college. Everyone is doing the quick fix weight loss to jumpstart. What's your take on this? I will say that there are no tricks, there are no secrets, and I think there are products that are designed to speed up weight loss. However, the danger with those products is if you depend on them solely to do the work, and it works, you have to also remember that what happens when you stop taking them. So if you stop taking it, or if it's something that you have to purchase and you don't want to buy it again, just kind of know that if you haven't made any conscious decisions centering exercise and really cleaning up your eating habits, then you can only guess what's going to happen after you stop taking it. You know, the quick fix is going to lose its effect when you stop taking it. But once you don't if you don't really have a game plan behind that, I think that's going to end up causing you to gain it all back in the end.
So another thing with the quick fix stuff, it's somebody could be thin, but that doesn't mean they're healthy. You know, and I love that you had that nutritionist because he balanced your carbs, your fats, your proteins, and said, this is what you should eat. This is what a healthy diet to have your body. So when you're eating nutrient-dense food, your body is made to heal and get the vitamins and minerals. Because I also do some holistic methylation, which is balancing your genes. And if you are eating stuff that's inflammatory, it also can shut off some of your genes, so they're not working like they're supposed to. So then somebody can be sick and not even know it. And then I was at our neighborhood pool, and the lifeguard is thin, and she had a big bottle of Powerade or something. And the second ingredient, maybe the first ingredient is water. The second one is high fructose corn syrup, which is awful. It's awful for people. And it's a cheap sugar fix, but they've linked it to cardiovascular and high blood pressure and diabetes and obesity. So I think it's really careful. We have to be careful of what we put into our mouths and read ingredients. So anyway, so pretty soon, Ty, we have to wrap up. It's been a joy.
Yes. That's this is probably the first time you've seen me in non-workout clothes.
I know. Let's see here. How do you find your ideal plan for yourself? You know what? You can answer that. I'm going to also just chime in that each person is bio-individual, and so what worked for Ty isn't necessarily going to work for me. And so we have to balance that out. And you're the expert of you, and so you might know. Like some people need more carbs or more protein or more fats. It's an individual thing, and working with some kind of health coach, which I am. I don't know, the man that you work or the woman that you work with, but it's finding out where your sweet point is. And also there's a food sensitivity test that people can do. It's like around $149, and you can order it online, Viome, Viome.com, and it'll send a stool specimen to them, and they'll tell you back in about 3 to 5 weeks, these are the foods that are really good for you right now. These are the foods that are okay for you. These are the ones you should limit, and these are the ones you should completely avoid. So it gives you a little bit of a plan right there, but it doesn't still give you that, whether, vegan. So some people, like for me, a vegan diet is going to be awful. I have a genetic mutation where I can't methylate B12. So you only get B12 from meat products. So I'm already at a disadvantage. So I have to eat meat to feel well. But some people, vegans, they feel great. So it just kind of depends. But I don't know how you would respond to this question, Ty.
Sure. I have not, let me read it. The diet is 80% of the journey. I've tried different meal plans and had an amount of success on each, but tend to always go stagnant after a while. How did I finally write meal plan for myself? Just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Patty. I think the nutritionist for me was the best step because he made a personal approach. He didn't just say, hey, decrease your carbs and sugar and eat more protein. That's what you're going to hear all the time. But what I also did is, there are a lot of macro tests and things online. I didn't use that as like the final say, but while I was shopping around for a nutritionist, I kind of wanted to have an idea of what he told me was true. And it had a lot of truth to it. But a nutritionist or a health coach's job is to take a look at you individually to say, hey, for the goals that you want, here's what it's going to take to get there. So for instance, I think what they typically say, like meat being the size of your palm, and then women like 3 ounces and all, I think that's great. It's a great starting point. But if you really want to make sure you're doing it correctly and for the best benefits, I think that's where that either research comes in, thorough research, not a quick fix research, and just kind of comes using the help of a health coach or nutritionist.
Great. So I don't know if there's any more questions. Do you have any final message, Ty, for the audience here, and the biggest takeaway, the lesson from your journey because I think one of the reasons that I wanted you there is, well, you're just an awesome guy, but you have an impressive journey, and that you seem to be pretty balanced. I mean, you did a balanced diet. You didn't do something really crazy. You exercised, then you loved it so much, you started teaching. You have your de-stress things, you're a comedian, you have a beautiful voice. So what's your takeaway? What would you give the audience as they leave tonight?
Sure. My biggest piece of advice is to not view it as a lifestyle change, but view it in the sense of I can't eat everything I want to eat, but that doesn't mean I have to deprive myself from enjoying stuff. And that's even with fitness. It's like you can make time for everything else. I feel like you can spend about 30 minutes on yourself a day. But the thing that helps you stay focused is find someone that's going to be in your corner. Find someone that's going to be positive. Like I always tell people who often ask me for advice, I always say, reach out to me if you have any questions. Very few actually do it, but I think having an accountability partner or someone in your corner that's been through it, that can give you sound advice and kind of motivate you and things of that journey. But if you're going for it, don't stop, don't quit. Anything worth having is worth working for. And if you have a personal goal and you want to achieve it, then the only person that can stand in the way of you reaching your own goals is yourself. So no matter what, just keep stopping. And if it's really what you want to do, do it. And if you can't, call me. I got you. I'm going to motivate you.
That's great. You're just such a great guy.
I know I'm already missing. Well, I miss the Saturday classes already, but I do not miss waking up at the crack of dawn on a Saturday morning. But
yeah, so Ty decided to go get smart and get his MBA on Saturday morning, which is the class that I attended with him. So that's right. I didn't wake up on Saturday morning either, since you weren't going to be there.
Yes.
So we do have one final question that LaDonna asked, and she said, what about eating based on your blood type? And is it effective? I would say for some people, It is. And some people it's not. It's just like if I have a headache and we broad stroke and say, okay, let's give you, some kind of pain relief, but maybe I have a tumor, so it's not going to work. But I do know that some people on their blood type, I actually don't work with blood types and stuff, but from what I've read, that's what I have heard, that it can be effective for some people, but I wouldn't put my bottom dollar on that. I think, again, just sort of knowing who you are, and like, do you feel better when you eat carbs or when you eat protein or when you eat fat? And so then you're going to get that percentage of carbs, fats, and proteins. Like I said, I have to eat a lot more protein than my husband. He could, I just amazed when he eats his carbs. I'm like, what? So I don't know. Do you have something to respond to, LaDonna, Ty?
That's not my expertise, the blood type portion of it. But I think that if for LaDonna, if that's something that you think is a hindrance, I think that's something we can probably work on talking to a health coach, or including you, Patty, to help us, figure out what could be or could not be based off of what she's going through.
Right. So, well, again, thank you, Ty, for being with us tonight and all your positivity and giving people hope that feel stuck. Maybe they're overweight, or maybe they just don't feel healthy and they're sedentary. That you're a living example, and you live to tell it. And you're not grumpy and irritable.
Yeah, every day is not a ballpark now. Every day is not. Yeah. That's another big piece. Every day is not going to be easy. It's not easy. Even today, it's not easy. But I think it's worth it. It's one of those things where it's just worth it. Just get through it, and you'll definitely feel better about yourself.
Okay. So good night, and thank you. And
you're very welcome.
All the people all your friends and your mom and dad.
All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for supporting me as always. Thank you, Patty,
for
the invitation. Anytime you need me, I will be here for you. I got you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.